Okay, we're joined with Paul Best. We're here at the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. We're out and about. Paul, welcome along to the show. It's great to speak to you down here at the railway.
Daniel, thanks for coming down to Kemsley Down.
Now, you've just been giving me actually a really nice tour around the site here at Kemsley Down. But how are things going, Paul, at the moment?
Well, as usual, it's a long, hard struggle, but we're getting there. We're running trains now from Milton Regis Asda Halt alongside the Asda supermarket in Sittingbourne. We've had a lot of work done on the viaduct, and we're working on reopening Sittingbourne. So hopefully by the end of the season we should be heading back towards Sittingbourne, which would be really good.
Now, on my way here today, Paul, I noticed, or it looked like there was some work being done on the concrete viaduct. What's happening there?
The viaduct has just had £20,000 worth of work done to it. This is deferred maintenance from 2008, and this has all been paid for through the fare box. So this is all sort of money that we've had set aside since 2008 to be done. And now that we're looking to go back to Sittingbourne, we've had the work done, and it's now just a case of repairing Sittingbourne Viaduct Station after the vandalism and theft that we've had there. Making the site secure and then reopening it to the public.
We are joined out and about here at Kemsley Down at the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. We're talking to Paul Best right here at the Monday Night Community Show. Right, we're joined back talking to Paul Best from the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. We've just moved along the site and we're now quite near to your diesel engine. Yeah. And I've noticed how you've got a steam engine running as well, and you're swapping between the two. And I just wondered if you could explain to our listeners quite how that works and how you manage both engines on the same line.
Yeah, we normally when we run from Sittingbourne, we run with one train in steam, which means you have one engine all fired up and ready to go, and it just runs the trains backwards and forwards all day. But that's easy to do when you've got point work everywhere. But unfortunately, at Milton Regis Asda Halt, we don't have any point work at all. So we have to use two locomotives, which then starts to get a little bit fiddly. So the train that just left, the steam loco with the passenger train down to Milton Regis, went on a ticket in lieu of a token. So we normally have this token that is given to the driver, and the driver that's got the token is in charge of the single line, and he's allowed to go over the single line. And with the ticket, we have to show the driver the token and say, right, here's the ticket. When he gets to Milton, he hands that over to the station master, and then it says on the ticket that a following train, there'll be a following train behind this one, so that they know that there's still another train to come. And then the loco here, Barton Hall, the diesel engine, will go down and bring the next passenger train back. So we've always got a locomotive on the front, because you can't really push the train all the way without somebody at the front. So that's what we're doing here. We've done it now since, we did it in October and it worked well, and we formalised the arrangement properly for the season, and it's worked really, really well. But obviously it'd be great when we get back to Sittingbourne and we don't have to go through this rigmarole. But this is one of your sort of rare opportunities at the moment to come down to the railway and travel behind one of the diesel locomotives when it isn't a special event.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to watch the changeover, I must say.
Yeah, we depending on who's station master, we'd like to make a bit of a song and dance about it, particularly with the token, because you put your arm up and catch the token from the driver as he's coming into the station. And then I always try and make a bit of a fuss about handing over the ticket and saying, here's the token, here's the ticket. You can see that I've got the token. And it's just that little bit more interesting for passengers that come down, and you can have a look round and see what's going on operationally. And it's a bit more interesting for the staff as well, because you have to do a little bit more thinking. And that's the whistle for the diesel loco to go. It's just been handed the token, which is now on the loco, and the driver and the second man are preparing to take the engine down to Milton and collect the train. So the next passenger train from Milton will be diesel hauled, but it will be steam going back to Milton.
We are talking to Paul Best from the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. We're out and about here at the Monday Night Community Show, and we'll take a break as the diesel engine pulls out of the station. Right, we're continuing to talk to Paul Best from the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Railway. We're gradually walking around the site here at Kemsley Down, and we're now joined with Paul in the engine shed here at Kemsley Down. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the engine shed and perhaps what goes on here.
Yeah, sure. The engine shed used to be a transshipment shed over at Ridham Docks, and when the railway was set up in the early 1970s, they dismantled it and brought it down here to Kemsley Down and set it up as a locomotive shed. We're in here now, and it's not changed too much over the years. A little bit of change towards the back of the shed, which used to be the mess room and is now the shop. But we've got two pit roads where work can be done underneath the locos, although we usually only use the one main one. And over the winter, we've rewired the entire shed so that we've actually got proper working electric lights now, which is something of a necessity, particularly if you're doing work over the winter when it gets really dark. And we've got pit lights as well, so you can actually see what you're doing underneath the engine, which is a massive improvement for the staff that work under the locos. In the engine shed at the moment, at the back of the shed on the right hand line, we've got steam locomotive Superb, which is currently being rebuilt. The boiler's being worked on outside the shed. And on the back left we've got Premier, which is one of the first two of the locomotives at the railway, built in 1905. Premier is in the process of being dismantled for complete overhaul and restoration. And in front of Superb is her sister engine, Leader, which is also the oldest of the engines, 1905. Leader doesn't look much at the moment. She's a rolling chassis with a cab, but the boiler's just passed all its inspections, and we're just waiting now for a crane to come along, pick it up and put the boiler back in the loco. So hopefully we'll start seeing some real work on this loco. With loco works, it's really frustrating because all the exciting stuff is right at the end when you've got the loco virtually complete, and all the really hard work is actually the months and years before that, trying to get it all back together and getting the boiler ready and everything else. So hopefully in this next couple of months we should start seeing some real movement on this engine and get it up and running, which would be really nice.
We are talking to Paul Best here at the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Railway here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show. We're out and about here at the Monday Night Community Show. We're talking to Paul Best and we're gradually walking around the site at Kemsley Down. We've stopped off at the garden area of the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Railway, and I was wondering, Paul, if you could tell our listeners a little bit about what our listeners can expect to see when they come along and stop off here at Kemsley.
Yeah, sure. I like to think of Kemsley Down as our oasis of green in the paper mill site, because we're almost surrounded by paper mill, a Milton Creek down one side. And if you come down here on arrival at Kemsley Down, you can take a stroll over to the railway shop, which is just behind the engine shed, then cross over the road to the Footplate Cafe. But there's lots of hidden bits around the site, such as the wildlife area and picnic area up here at the top end of the site, and it's nice and quiet. It is very odd sitting out here on a picnic table listening to the birds but staring up at the big tall chimneys of the paper mill, and it's all sort of, it is around you and you can sort of sense it's around you, but it's just very odd sitting here in the nice and quiet.
It's almost like a completely different atmosphere here.
Yeah, it's lovely. Unfortunately, the museum's still closed at the moment because we're in the process of rewiring it, so that when it's fully reopened, it's going to have some nice new exhibition space and be fully rewired, which is going to be great. And we're struggling really with the gardening, because when Tony James was alive, he used to come down here almost daily and fiddle about with the garden here and there. And now that we've got our volunteers that come down maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, it's very difficult to keep up with all that gardening. So we've still got quite a backlog of gardening in the top of the museum walk area, where the Garden Railway used to be, and the Garden Railway is going to be completely replaced with a new railway, hopefully for next season. So things are progressing, but it is slow, hard work, as you can imagine.
We are talking to Paul Best here at BRFM. We're out and about here at the Monday Night Community Show. We are out and about and we're talking to Paul Best here at the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Down Railway here at the Monday Night Community Show. Paul, I was wondering if you could let our listeners know, as we're now in August, what are your opening times?
Well, we're going to be opening on Wednesdays and Sundays this month, and then on Bank Holiday Saturday, Sunday and Monday as well. So it's going to be a busy month, and it's going to be great because we've been looking forward to a bit of extra running. So on normal Sundays and Wednesdays this month, we will be running trains from Milton Regis House to Halt at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And then on the bank holiday weekend, on the Saturday, we're going to be running at the same times, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And on the Sunday and the Monday, we're going to be open a bit earlier with trains at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Return journey takes about an hour, although you can stay longer if you wish, and you can buzz backwards and forwards on the train as well if it's not too busy. Return fares are £4 for adults and £2 for children, and we're trying to make ourselves very family friendly and a reasonably priced day out. So if you want to come down with a picnic, that's fine, we've got a picnic area. If you want to come down and have a bite to eat, we've got the Footplate Cafe, and we've obviously got the railway shop which sells toys and souvenirs.
If our listeners would like to find out more about the railway, could you let them know your website and any other ways they can contact you?
Yeah, our website is www.sklr.net. You can also send an email to info@sklr.net, and also we've got a phone line with a recorded message on 01795 424 899.
Paul, I've had a fantastic day here today. It's been a lovely sunny day. I've had a lovely trip down, and I'm sure I'll have a lovely trip back. I'd just like to say thank you very much for letting me come down and experience a day here at the railway.
No problem, thanks for coming down.